Welcome to episode 36 of the Chi-Town Shoot Wrestling Podcast. I'm Marcin, and joining me in the squared circle are Chris, David, and Andres. We're coming at you from the heart of the wrestling world, Chicago, Illinois, bringing you the latest news, hottest takes, and all things WWE and AEW. Questions or thoughts, send them over to chitownshootpodcast@gmail.com. Gents, welcome back to another episode. It's been pretty hectic, but how are you guys doing this week?
Good.
Gucci?
Yeah, Gucci.
Andres, how was ASEN?
It's good. It's
Wild.
good. Nah,
Wild
nah,
then?
not too much. Well, maybe a little wild then, but it was good. Did day zero, so we were there from Thursday, came back Friday and Saturday. Sunday I didn't go, but overall it was good. Connected with a lot of old friends and stuff. I actually unfortunately missed the wrestling meetup that was there, but it looked like they had a good time though.
What's day zero exactly? What separates it from days 1 through 3?
It's Thursday, so
It's
like day one would be Friday. So
Just some interesting branding. So it's the same stuff. They just call it day zero. So do you have access
yeah,
to
just
the
kind
floor
of
and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's not like an official thing. It's just kind of a thing that like the attendees like always kind of called it. So
Zero
I see.
hour.
So you're not going like merch and all that isn't available. Like
Yeah.
visiting the it's just, okay,
Pre-show.
gotcha.
Pre-party.
visiting.
pre-show.
People already have hotel parties or
Everybody's
whatever.
already there.
The tailgate party.
Pretty much.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, I went with Matt. So
Cool. Yeah, I unfortunately, I wasn't able to go Saturday for that hotel get together, but it sounded like it was fun. David, what did you? They didn't. No one took your trading cards that I put in your mailbox, did they? Were you able to get them?
Oh yeah, you owe me trading cards.
Did they? Are you
No,
serious?
they're. No, they're there.
Did you open them? Was there anything good in there?
Oh, that's staying in the stash.
Oh, staying in the stash. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, I did get another one of those Chronicle boxes, and it was like maybe like out of all 6 packs, there was like maybe 3 or 4, and then everything else was basically like doubles. I was like, man, I was pushing my luck. I was like, wow, the second box that I get a Bret Hart autograph, and then I was like, oh, maybe there's something else if I get another box, and there were some good ones, but it was a lot of doubles.
It's the next
pretty
one.
good though.
You gotta go to a different store.
If you guys want like Greg the Hammer Valentine, I got like 4 of them. If you want to start a collection,
Go get it graded.
I went to the flea market on Sunday.
Yeah, did they sell trading cards?
I think I noticed there was like one like that sold them, but it was just like baseball cards and shit.
Let's do it, dude.
No wrestling
Start
cards.
stocking up.
Probably like useless ones too, or maybe not. I don't know, but I mean, it was
you didn't go up to the booth and look.
I did. Like I kind of like scanned through it, but by the time I noticed them, like we've been walking for like over an hour, because essentially it's like the entire lot. And if you think about it, how big the lot is. Pretty big.
I was just looking at a table for there before this call. So.
Oh, were you?
Did you see how much like a table costs?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Where's this market at?
It's at the Allstate Arena.
Outside, right?
Yeah, it's just in the parking lot.
Sunday.
Yeah, this is wrestling shit and Pokemon cards.
There was I wanted to get a Bret Hart.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bret Hart action figure. It had the belt on and everything, but I don't know. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I just kept walking.
Oh, dude, I saw one at Target, and by the time I went back, it was gone. I was so mad. I went to work out, came back, it was gone.
It's probably that.
I didn't see the Bret, but I did see there was a Stone Cold Steve Austin one. I think he had like, I don't know if it was a Smoking Skull belt, but he did have like some accessories on his action figure. But I wasn't there for that. But I did want to see if maybe they moved some cards or something to that section. I did get a PlayStation Portal today because, of course, the Facebook ads and stories kind of got me where they basically Best Buy had open boxes for $130 for a PlayStation Portal, and I there's a lot of times for me when I'm playing the PlayStation or I want to, either the TV is being occupied and I want to play, or it's time to go to bed, but I don't want to be sitting in front of the couch. I could just play and then just go to sleep. So I got the Portal, and it's pretty cool, I gotta say. I didn't get too much time with it, just purely because today was also hectic. Prepping for this podcast, working out, and this is all after like 5 p.m., right? So didn't get too much time, but it's pretty cool. But I'll report back.
What is it, like
next
a portable
time.
version or something?
PlayStation Portal is, it's basically like a remote. It's not necessarily like a Steam Deck, because I feel like a Steam Deck is like it has your whole library. But PlayStation Portal, it basically like mirrors what you have on your PlayStation. So you connect your account and the PlayStation turns on, and basically it just mirrors what's on the PlayStation into the PlayStation Portal. And there's also a beta version of their streaming library. So if you have PlayStation Plus, it's like a specific tier that I got. It's like $160 for the year. And if you divide it by 12, it's actually like $13 a month, which isn't terrible. But you have access to their PlayStation Classics, PS2, PS3, PS4, and that streaming library is available on it as well. So you can play games that are installed on your PlayStation, or you could also stream from this library of PlayStation games, which is pretty cool, I gotta say. So yes,
It's cool.
Yeah. I'll bring it to maybe Double or Nothing or Saturday Night's Main Event if you're gonna host it. But yeah, speaking of wrestling, I think that's a good segue into our stories. We have a number of stories today. I think we have 2 new stories, and then we'll jump into our main segment, which is all about Money in the Bank cash-ins. But we'll start out with the first story, and it's Matt Cardona saying that he's surprised that he hasn't returned to WWE yet. So he was released by WWE around the pandemic, and then he basically went on to carve his own path in the independent scene. And Cardona basically shed the Zack Ryder persona when he went to the Indies, and he became king of the Deathmatch, and then he became king of the Indies. He won championships in areas like GCW, AIW, and NWA, and he's been in other independent wrestling promotions, including... Has he done? He hasn't done freelance, has he? I don't think so.
I know he's done Chicago. We see him at Chicago style.
Yeah, so he's been in other Chicago indie promotions, but he's been making the rounds, and it sounds like he's been making pretty decent money. He's also made appearances in AEW, and he's worked for TNA, but he still hasn't come back to WWE, which in a recent story, and this is another Fightful Select story, he says is surprising. And he had an interview with Chris Van Fleet, and he basically Cardona said, honestly, that he's surprised. And then he says, but obviously I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. Listen, people say to me all the time, especially since we just had WrestleMania, WrestleCon, thousands of people, probably every other fan, if not every fan, when are you coming back? And then he says, well, it's not up to me, or at the WrestleMania hotel. Thanks, Chelsea, for letting me stay in a hotel room for free. Saved me some money. Great hotel. Great steakhouse, too. But so many people from the office or other wrestling, hey, man, when are you coming back? It's like, I don't know. I've reached out many times. I shouldn't say many, a few times. Every couple of months when something cool happens or I have something to say, hey, look what I'm doing. There's been no offer. Everything's very nice, professional, but there's no offer. And you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to keep working my ass off. And Cardona, basically, he was started his WWE career, I think it was with the Edgeheads, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In 2006.
Well, he might have been on ECW before that.
Yeah, I think he started in 06, but I think the Edgeheads weren't until 07, because I think Edge was doing that whole gimmick in 07. And then he remained with the company basically until his 2020 release. So he was in WWE for a long time.
Woo,
you know it.
Woo.
So, yeah, I mean, Cardona has been... I liked Zack Cardona. He was in the mid card, and people I do remember when he was, with the whole woo woo, and he was getting creative because WWE weren't giving him much as a wrestler for content, and he became like the internet wrestling streaming champion. He did his own YouTube channel. He was trying to make an impact his own way because WWE wasn't giving him stuff, and they gave him a bit of a push, and he's had a couple of title reigns, but I don't think it's what he envisioned or what he wants. He's obviously wants the WWE championship and something bigger. And it's kind of similar now to where he went to carve his own path. He did this whole indie wrestling thing, but it still seems like he wants to come back to WWE, but for whatever reason, the E doesn't have anything for him, or they don't want him. I'm not sure what the reasoning is. So have you guys, okay, so you guys, I know David, I'm assuming you didn't see most of his Zack Ryder career when he started.
I seen like 2014 onward.
You did? Okay. So
Yeah.
what
I
did you
seen
make
early because I watched like ECW and like a little bit of that time of like Edgeheads, but
yeah. So what did you think of him as a character in WWE?
Like
personally.
I always thought he was like solid, like he was cool in video games.
Yeah.
Like Rough Rider's cool.
Yeah, it's a good finisher.
And like, yeah, I just took like by the time I started watching him, I kind of like understood the fact that like not everybody gets like the right showcase in WWE.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like sometimes it is like they give you the vehicle, but then it's up to you to do something with it. On the other hand, sometimes it is like they literally just give you, chicken shit, and you can't always turn it into chicken salad, and that's not necessarily the fault of the wrestler. It's just how they package you, how they think you should look. And certain people, left, came back because they weren't getting what WWE, they weren't getting the stuff they needed from WWE. Like Cody Rhodes is a great example. He's like, all right, well, you're giving me a Stardust character. He basically felt empty inside at that point, left, did indie wrestling, created a wrestling company, came back. Now he's one of the biggest wrestlers on the planet. So it's not like it's unique or it's not like it hasn't been done before. But for whatever reason, WWE doesn't seem to.
McIntyre did it too.
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, McIntyre left, chosen one, babyface, clean shaven wrestler, had a decent mid card title run with the IC belt. Three man band, basically Job Squad, and then left. Same thing. Well, how are you guys impressed by his transformation from Zack Ryder to like this indie god persona?
I like him in the indies. I like especially like early on, like his first like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like I definitely he's putting out good work. He still is. I don't know.
Chris, what did you think of Zack Ryder?
I think it's a timing thing.
Yeah, I think it's a timing thing. It's also, I think, it's a capacity thing. And again, I think WWE can potentially be dangerously close to doing what I think AEW does, where you get like sign these wrestlers. And I feel like WWE sometimes might be now doing it politically, where it's like, look, if you go from AEW or whatever and then sign us, we can give you a great career. Look at Penta, look at Cody. Aleister Black, I don't know, not so much yet. Same thing with El Idolo. I don't know. There were some people that they're still kind of like kind of hanging around.
Has Rusev been on TV?
Rusev has been on TV. Yeah, that's another one. Rusev. Yeah, so now they're making him like this monster thing. So there are certain wrestlers that were on AEW that basically were stuck in catering, and now they're getting more spotlight time. But I think it might be a capacity issue. But Chris, what did you think of Zack Ryder when he was in WWE? And then if you have any thoughts on his current like Matt Cardona persona, and yeah, go from there.
Catchiest theme song ever.
Oh, radio.
Oh yeah. When that shit be hitting, I was like, yeah, radio. I think,
Yeah.
I mean, he was definitely over. I think, especially towards the end. In WWE, I think he was getting pretty over because when it was like kind of closer to the end for him. I mean, that was pretty peak Vince, I guess, right? All kind of like on the verge of like what would be peak Vince in the late 2010s. And then when he
Mhm.
jumped on the indie train, I think he's done enough of it now where I think he would benefit for going to like a bigger promotion because he's been doing it for so long.
Right.
I feel like he can benefit for just being on either a TNA or WWE or shit, even AEW. But
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like he's probably burning out a little bit, maybe, because it sounds like those comments just make it sound like he's, you know, kind of wanting to go on to something a bit more steady or
Yeah.
regular.
When he says always ready, I always felt like that meant like always ready for WWE's phone call, um, in a persona. Because it does feel like, it felt like he was doing all this, like he wanted to reinvent himself and do something different, but I felt like it was almost like a portfolio to try and get back in WWE. And maybe that's just pure speculation. I could be completely wrong. Um, but just based on this recent story where he was interviewed that he was surprised that he never got a call from WWE, I felt like maybe there's something to that. So, so,
I like watching
so,
them get
what's that?
chased. I like watching them hunt for wrestling figures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how
guilty
big his
pleasure.
wrestling figure is collection is by now. It's probably like a ball pit of wrestling figures that probably hurt if you jump in it. But I feel like he's got like a U-Haul container full of
Makes
wrestling
me want to
figures.
do it.
So here's a question, and then I guess Andres, you can answer this. So Cardona admitted that he reaches out to WWE when something cool happens in his career. How important do you feel like it's for wrestlers to advocate for themselves in today's industry?
Oh, I think it's like super important. I mean, you got to sell yourself out and be the best you can be, and sometimes you got to knock on those doors or kick
Hmm.
them open too if they come. With Matt Cardona, even as Zack Ryder, I was watching during that era.
Hmm.
When I guess like Zack Ryder was at his like highest point. But me personally, I was not really too entirely sold on him as a character. His YouTube stuff was really funny though, I will say, because his channel was actually really good. Actually, I think he had like one of the biggest videos too at one point, or maybe for like a wrestling superstar at the time, it was like the number one video or something like that. But I remember he would kind of make fun of WWE in a way in this video. So I don't know if maybe like that's kind of one reason why they let him go. I don't know either, but like because he would make fun of like the fact that he wasn't getting a push or he couldn't get over. Like he would make a video of like I remember he was like trying to climb a fence and he's like, I just can't get over. I just can't do it. Like, and it's like how much taller than him and stuff. It was funny stuff. But when he transitioned to the indie scene, I mean, no, he was making a lot of noise for sure. I mean, he's doing a lot there. I know he was like the hardcore like god or something like that. I remember like he was just doing like all these crazy matches and stuff. And we were fortunate enough to actually see him too.
Yeah, that was
So
like during winter, wasn't it?
yeah, a
It
little
was
while
like
ago.
cold as hell. Well, we
It
Yeah,
worked
it's
was,
pretty
yeah.
pretty
cold.
good.
But I mean, him trying to get back in WWE. I mean, like why not? Obviously, I mean, it's important to still keep those good relations and let them know you're still hungry, you're still willing to work and stuff.
Yeah,
Especially
it's
for him. I mean, he's still very capable of wrestling. He's always had good matches too. He's always been a good wrestler, in my opinion.
yeah. I mean, he's like around the same age as Cody Rhodes. I feel like you know
Yeah,
I don't think it's an age thing because their entire upper like main event scene is guys in their 40s. So I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know if that's the issue. I do think it goes back to that capacity issue, just not knowing what to do with him. Um, and I don't know how he sells it. Like, does he say like, "Hey, I'm fine coming back to WWE. You can put me in the lower card, the mid card." He doesn't care. Or if he says, "I want to come back to WWE, but I want you to push me in, the upper mid card level, or even
yeah.
WWE Championship level."
I
Who
mean,
knows?
Fandango came back. Why can't Zack Ryder?
That's true. And again, I think we made this. Well, not me. I didn't make the good point, but I think David Andres, you made the point about before the show. Like there are plenty of people who leave and who are huge main eventers, Hall of Famers that left, had to reinvent themselves, bounced around certain promotions. I mean, Steve Austin did it, Triple H did it, Isaac Yankem did it. You know, like there were so many people who left, had bad gimmicks, they didn't know what to do with them. Then they came back. The Rock, same thing. Babyface, white meat babyface, die Rocky die. I mean, the whole thing. It's not unique to Zack Ryder, and it's a constant in wrestling, and that goes for Cora Jade and other wrestlers too who got let go. Dakota Kai, that's another one. She got let go probably because she was getting injured too frequently for their liking, and probably because they didn't know what to do with her, even though they just got 2 mid-card belts. But that's another story. But yeah, so why do you think? So I said it's a capacity issue, but Chris? Why do you think WWE hasn't brought him back, especially because of all this interest in him as being an indie god, and selling out shows purely based on his name in the indie scene?
I think it is, honestly, like me personally, I think it is a capacity thing. I mean, I guess they could potentially put him on like an NXT. You know what I mean? Like make him really big on NXT, since they kind of treat it almost like an indie show, like with the aura of it. But I think it comes down to capacity, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go that way.
So what do you guys think? If WWE never calls, what do you think is the next logical step for Matt Cardona? Should he try to go to AEW or TNA? Or should he just maintain being an indie god or reinvent himself again?
He had
New
an AEW
Japan.
run, didn't
New Japan. Definitely some
What'd you
kind
say,
of a bigger promo. I think, like again, he's been doing
not
the
WWE.
indie god thing for what, like a decade or something at least, more or less.
Some variation of it. I wouldn't say a decade
5
because he
years.
left in 2020, so 5 years.
Okay.
he? He wrestled in AEW though, didn't he? Wasn't he on there for a little bit?
He just shows up every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like an appearance. Like, didn't he do an Edge match with Edge or with Cope? So like it's like one-off appearances, but it doesn't go beyond that.
I mean, honestly, it just sounds like he only wants to go to one place, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think. Like me,
Yeah.
I think that's the goal for him. Like he doesn't want to sign with AEW and TNA for like a contract. If he's like, oh no, if I stay here 5 years, then I'll miss my opportunity to go to WWE. And Chelsea Green, his wife is there. Maybe he thought there might be some pull or something. I mean, not that he would need it because he was in the company for like 16 years before he left.
It's been a while, yeah.
But yeah, maybe he could go to, like you mentioned, New Japan or something like that. But I think again, it has to
Matt
do
Cardona
with,
in the G1.
yeah, Tokyo Dome. Or you know what? Put him. They acquired AAA. Put Matt Cardona in AAA, and he could technically be wrestling WWE wrestlers, even though it's a separate promotion. He'd be under the same umbrella because
just pull a TNA.
Yeah, but exactly. I mean,
Move around like Joe
it would
Hendry.
be closer than TNA because TNA is still technically separate, but they have some. It's not a handshake deal. Obviously, it's not like the Carnies in the '80s, but like
You never know.
Maybe, but like there's definitely some kind of deal there. Like Joe Hendry for sure, when his contract is up, is going to go to WWE. There's no way he wouldn't be. That just does. Like they gave
Jordan
him
Grace.
Yeah, they gave him a freaking WrestleMania match against Randy Orton. Like you're telling me that isn't like their way to get him on WWE, the WWE roster? I think it's a matter of when.
Yeah, that'd be his best shot. Just go to TNA, honestly.
Yeah, so maybe Zack Ryder. I mean, go to AAA, and then that way you're technically in WWE. You're just on a separate company, which is a good segue into our next story. And see what I did there. So back in April during WrestleMania week, WWE dropped a huge bombshell and announced that they acquired AAA. And AAA, I think, wasn't doing great financially, so for them, it made sense to be acquired by WWE. And in that instance, they get money, and then they stay alive, and then WWE basically gets this new roster of wrestler like luchadors. So this new story had Penta in an interview recently with Sam Roberts, and Penta basically said that it's a very good opportunity for Mexican wrestlers. So there, while speaking on the Raw Recap podcast, Penta was asked about WWE's acquisition of AAA, and he believes it was a very good opportunity for Mexican wrestlers. And then this is what he said specifically. He said it's a very, very good opportunity for the Mexican wrestlers, the younger wrestlers, and in general, the Mexican wrestlers, because the door is bigger. That's with any other opportunity in the world. I don't know exactly what is the form. I don't know exactly how it will be. I don't know, but I'm sure this is the best opportunity for all Mexican wrestlers. Brother, there's a Hogan reference. I hope that I want to see more wrestlers here in WWE, like luchadors, obviously. But to be honest, man, and serious, I think it's good for the business, bro. I don't know when it starts. How's the real formula for this project? But I just feel in my heart that it's good business. So I guess I don't know if we really talked about the acquisition of AAA since it happened on the podcast. So I guess, David, when you heard that WWE acquired AAA, what did you think?
Wasn't surprised. Just amongst all the like cross promotion and stuff, I was like, I guess I was surprised a little bit about like the fact that they bought them.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been trying to figure out something for Mexico for a while. Like some of these are like kind of like the plans that they had for NXT with like UK, Japan, Mexico, and all that stuff back before lockdown. And I think it's just doing it at a larger scale instead of doing it as the NXT brand. I'm curious this cross promotion looks. I think it looks cooler than like the AEW universe of all the like with that in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the separate brands works better.
Yeah, it's a good question. Because for Tony Khan, I mean, he acquired Ring of Honor,
right,
and treats it as like a separate show
with all the same guys.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's a similar business model than the WWE is doing, right?
Well, so it's good. From so far, it seems like it's going to stay its own brand.
Right. Like Ring of Honor, because they don't say AEW Ring of Honor, do they?
No, but you see people on both channels all the time.
Oh, I see. That's what you mean.
Like, there's no hard separation. It's almost like a Raw SmackDown brand split.
Oh yeah, you're right. I completely forgot that Jericho was like Ring of. Yeah, you're right. Like they do just have them like interchangeably have like fighting for the belt on AEW pay-per-views and that kind of stuff. So yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Keeping it separate, and we don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't keep it separate. We'll see. But so far, it just looks like there is this NXT AAA Worlds Collide show that's happening in June. And I definitely want to see that. I just want to see what that looks like under WWE. That'll be super interesting. But Andres, what did you think when you heard that WWE acquired a Mexican wrestling promotion? Any thoughts? Where you're like, oh man, this is like Ring of Honor.
I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, it was cool to see that they're going to be opening up the doors to now a different, obviously North American wrestling is not, unaware of, the luchador like style wrestling. Obviously, we've had it come here for many years in WCW, even well before that. But I think now to actually like agree to be like a part together, or at least have some kind of handshake agreement of some sort, I think it's cool. It's going to be opening up more opportunities, and endorse for them. And I think what they're gonna have a show, right? The Worlds Collide that you were mentioning, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do that. So I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Chris, how do you feel like the move will change the landscape of lucha libre in Mexico, but also internationally?
I mean, I think WWE has been doing a really good job just doing a lot of more international pay-per-views. So this was natural kind of business move for them, so they can kind of take over that South American portion on some level. You know what I mean? Well, Central America, Latin America portion. So I think it's a good
American.
business move for them.
It's all America.
Gulf of America. No, but yeah, it's definitely a good business move for them. Again, I mean, they have like Rey Mysterio and stuff like that, but introducing a wider range or wider roster of luchadors, which should be an interesting take, especially like under a WWE umbrella. So there's definitely a lot of curiosity on my end as far as like how that's even going to kind of look. Is it going to be very WWE? Is it going to be the way AAA was kind of run before, but just under a WWE brand, you know, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, I guess I'm curious. Are they going to, I mean, they acquired them. Are they going to be doing a show, like a AAA show, like
It'd
how
be
they have a
easier to
Raw and
help them tour.
SmackDown?
They
Like,
could probably tour.
yeah.
Like,
I'm curious what that looks like. If it's just gonna be like PLEs that they just show up and you can see them, or is it going
there's
to
gonna be a way to watch.
You think it'll be like a NXT show or something like that?
Probably.
Or
It'll
what
probably
was
be
that?
streamed.
What was that? Lucha Libre show that looked like a movie?
Lucha Underground.
Underground?
Lucha Underground. There you go. Thank you.
That was on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe they could put them on Netflix. Have a show like that. That'd be interesting. Run back Chelsea Green versus Penta. That would be cool, but I don't know if WWE would do it. You know, they should, but I don't think they would.
I mean, it was a
But
great
yeah, yeah, not just the WWE umbrella, but like the Endeavor umbrella, where you have they own both WWE and UFC, so you have this entire apparatus behind you. That should be interesting going in. I guess I don't know what the dynamics are like. Like, what is it? AAA is like what in North America? Because there's also CMLL, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of the popularity, I mean, I guess if they were losing money, they were probably the lesser brand, like the less popular promotion.
They've fallen off a little bit, but they also used to, but they like they did stuff with AEW before CMLL.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny had their belt and he was belt collecting.
Mm.
Like it's not overall bad, but bad decisions at the wrong time.
Yeah. Chris, how do you feel like WWE's style might impact their presentation?
I mean, it could just be more cinematic, I guess. I would say. I don't think they would. I'm sure they look at AAA and they probably thought, well, you guys need to kind of keep what makes you AAA, what distinguishes you. I imagine if they were sitting in a boardroom, I don't see why they would try to like homogenize, like making it look exactly like WWE. Because I mean, I don't see what the point would be. So I think there's definitely going to be some kind of emphasis of trying to keep what they were, the DNA of what Triple A was or is. So
Yeah.
it's just now they have the purse of, you know, Endeavor or whatever.
They're gonna have El Grande Americano go over there and win the belt.
Yeah,
So.
like I mean that'd probably be like
should.
he's probably this character they probably created to do some weird crossover thing. I imagine maybe.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be some kind of juice to that because if he was talking about he wants to look for like the biggest and best luchadors, and then it wasn't that like he didn't have that character that long before they purchased AAA.
Foreshadowing. I'm sure they're already talking about it.
Yeah, I'm sure that was probably in the cards. So this happens, and then like you said, WWE's been doing more international shows. They really want to put the world in world wrestling entertainment. Andres, do you feel like this could lead to more crossover with other international promotions like New Japan or CMLL? Hell, maybe, I mean, AEW? Do you think that's ever possible? Can you imagine a WWE AEW crossover show?
I think we've
Everybody would
talked
have
about
to learn how to play nice.
that. But that'd be quite a meet at the middle kind of an agreement. Like, how would that even come to be? I mean, that would be like probably the greatest thing ever to actually happen, though. I mean,
Street Fighter.
like, how long did we wait for?
I mean,
Like, how long
historically,
did we wait for WCW to cross over? You know, like, how long did we wait for that to actually happen? And then by the time the invasion angle even happened, it was kind of crap.
well,
but
that was all
AEW
written by Vince. That's why.
yeah, true.
And it was everybody that wanted to stay home knew that they should stay home.
Mhm.
Yeah, true. But this could open it for more doors. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, CLM can definitely be next to be part of it since we have AAA. But like, I mean, New Japan, that'd be cool. Haven't they had not like an
Well,
official like?
They work with Noah, but it's not like that. Noah's not owned by WWE or anything.
Mhm.
Okay. Wasn't The Rock like posting a photo wearing a New Japan shirt too, and everyone was like freaking out? They're like, "Oh my God! Like, is this
Yeah,
That's
actually
what I
gonna
made a
be
meme for, yeah, because I think it was the same time that was it an AEW show?
He needs to name his 5 favorite New Japan
New Japan
matches
match?
before I believe him. To be honest,
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like there must have been something to that. Why, like, you can't tell me The Rock, who's a on the board of directors of WWE, wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling shirt, and then he's playing with a Rubik's cube, basically trying to solve a puzzle. And I did make that meme that said, basically Dwayne Johnson trying to figure out how to purchase New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I feel like they are definitely trying to expand into other markets, and the Japanese market, I mean, that is for sure lucrative. I don't know what AEW's relationship with New Japan is now. I mean, they have those Forbidden Door PLEs,
and look how great
but
they're treated.
right. So I
They
feel
go there
like
to lose.
WWE could like sweeten the deal and maybe just, I mean, just show them how like former stars are being handled in WWE. I mean, maybe they can see the crossover. I mean, they got purchased, so it's WWE owned anyway. But I guess just seeing the brand, if it's being revered, or is it getting the WCW treatment where basically you got, you know, the B Squad and the invasion angle, and they're all getting their asses kicked. I mean, that rightfully so, I guess, because Vince won, and that was Vince's
That was
ego
the
trip right
message.
there. Yeah, that was the message. So we'll see. I feel like that show with AAA will maybe inform other promotions who might want to do business with WWE. I mean, TNA. I mean, that's another one. That's another one that is actively not, I don't think, owned by WWE, at least not publicly, and they have talent cross over to WWE and are getting treated pretty well. I mean, yes, the TNA champion did lose to Randy Orton, but he
It's Randy
did.
Orton.
Yeah, exactly. For one, it's Randy Orton, and two, they gave him a spot at WrestleMania, and he's not even on the roster. You
And then
know,
he came out with their belt.
And it
right?
wasn't a
Exactly.
squash. I mean, I would say it was like
Right.
pretty
It was a match.
decent match.
It was a
Yeah.
good, yeah, it was a good match. Yeah, it wasn't just like I'm gonna turn around or I'm just gonna do the entrance, just do the turnaround, and then get RKO'd, and that's it. Like they actually had a match.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly. Like he didn't do a "Who the hell are you" kind of thing. Like just kind of wiped his shoes on the mat
Welcome to the big
when he's done, and then
leagues.
just did one of these, and then just spit on him.
Or like how like they did Sting the whole "Welcome to the big leagues."
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
So
Disrespect.
Right.
Shout out to AEW for giving him a pretty good career, though.
yeah, I'll say. I mean, TNA. I think
At least the
his-
send off. I think a lot of people would say Sting's TNA career is probably generally his like most memorable amongst like I think probably the longest too. I want to say.
Yeah. Some people say it's better than his WCW.
That's what a
Like in
lot.
terms of matches, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was was it his longest? Because I mean, if he was in WCW from the '80s up until 2001, I don't know.
Well, 2001, what, 2015? Pretty close.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, so it was both pretty even, but yeah. Yeah, Sting at least got like a decent, a great send off
It's all right.
retirement match. Yeah, it was okay. It was fantastic. I gotta say, it was great. So is there, in terms of this acquisition, I mean, I don't know what CMLL's like financial situation is, so I don't know if they would be up for being acquired by WWE. Well, you know what? Let me roll it back. How do you guys feel about WWE basically kind of like, is monopolizing the right word? I guess it depends who you ask.
I wouldn't say so.
Acquiring promotions and basically putting them under their umbrella. David, what do you think? Do you think it's a good thing for wrestling as a whole? Not so
I
good.
think it's fine. They're not like buying everything out. It's not like, like I doubt they go buy CMLL. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, I doubt they buy, like, if they get one brand in Japan, I doubt they buy the other.
Right.
I don't think they're necessarily in the business of doing what Vince did in North America anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely an emphasis
yeah.
on international presence, though. That's for sure.
Right.
'Cause the Netflix acquirement, I mean, all these things are just showing that they're just trying to be very viable in an international market, and acquiring AAA, I guess, was a big step for that.
For sure.
Right. And now they got easy access to booking arenas for whoever wants to go to Mexico. They help these Mexican wrestlers that don't get American exposure, like get their work visas and do all that other type of stuff that allows them to work here, and they don't have to be on these silly little flyers that we see out here in the city. Like they can be where they deserve to be.
On urinals and lampposts.
Like no offense, but it's like, like they for them to be as big as they are in Mexico and then come here and like work some venues that are smaller than the indies that we do go to is pretty crazy. It's like, oh damn, like we could have seen Blue Panther in the House of 100, like
the Berwyn Eagle or whatever the hell it's called.
I mean, I feel like just expanding it to an international market, it opens up a lot of opportunity. I mean, look at, I don't know what the big prominent brands are that are in potentially the UK or Canada, for instance. Canadian, what do they call them? That one brand from Canada. That
I believe
Stampede.
Yeah. Yep.
I believe Pro.
Yeah.
That's another one.
So I mean, I think it's good because just expanding it to bigger audiences, again, it just expands the product, expands how many people can watch it. Like that Netflix deal was probably one of the best things they've done to just allow them to be streamed to essentially the rest of the planet, rather than like them trying to watch it after hours or through some illegal stream or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time,
Commentary in their language.
Yeah, at the same time, because before, I mean, if you really think about it, it was very segmented, like your own specific region. You had your own networks, series of like shows. Maybe this country's gonna have some kind of like other sport or event that'll take it off. And then with Netflix, you can access it at any time, watch it live, watch it replayed, and there's no like delays because there's baseball or whatever. You just watch it. Like,
doesn't get cut off by the news.
Right, exactly. I mean, like you can watch, like you watch this live yourself. Like Netflix have like 10 live shows at the same time, and then you can just pick which one you want to watch that's happening, and no delays or anything. I mean, it's pretty remarkable when you think about it.
Are they streaming in China or no? Is Netflix in China?
I think they're going to. I don't think it's happened yet. And I think India just happened not too long ago.
the latest
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah, because there were a couple of like giant countries that still didn't get it when it first launched in January, and there was a slow rollout for like some of the big countries. Like India is a massive market, and they didn't get it until recently.
We had to
But yeah,
send the Great Ali over.
yeah, yeah, for real. I mean, they got the Great Khali in 2K25. I'm like, we've really reached that point where now he's like a Legends pack, you know? Like before, I was like, what the hell? Great Khali.
Punjab
That's a
prison
selling
match.
point. Yeah, I mean, people got rose-colored glasses. I guess they think Great Khali's cool. Why not?
It
Yeah,
makes you think of the silly shit when you're a kid. I think
honestly.
that's what it is. Just
Was it
like,
you,
oh
David,
yeah,
that
he
thought
could
he
stay.
killed Rey Mysterio when he was like squishing his
Yeah.
head? He was like bleeding out of his mouth.
Yeah.
He did.
Andres, I guess same question. What do you think about? Do you feel like this is monopolizing it? Do you think it's a good thing, bad thing for them acquiring
No, I think for
promotions?
how it's going, it's good now. I mean, like I said, as long as they don't like how David's point, as long as they're not going like how Vince McMahon did it, going out buying everything, and then there's like no competition in general. I think it's good to have like competition of business, but also have like a good agreement amongst everyone to just coexist and cross over when necessary. It's just good for business that way.
Yeah,
It looks
that's
like
true.
I'm just reading the Wikipedia page. It's saying
Or what?
that for AAA, they would acquire AAA in partnership with Mexican company Philip. WWE is expected to hold a 51% controlling stake. So I don't know. I don't think they own it like 100%.
Outright?
51.
But I mean, that's
That
more
1%
than,
over
more
half.
than half. Yeah,
Huh.
that's
Interesting.
Very
So not completely. And maybe that, I mean, that maybe, 51%. I mean, yes, it is more than half.
Did they send Del Rio home?
That's a good question, because I feel like
think they
initially they
did.
were like, oh yeah, as soon as they acquired him, he was gone, and then you see a bunch of social media posts that he's gone, and then not too long ago they were like, oh, he's still on the roster or whatever, and he might have a match, at the Worlds Collide thing. I'm like, I don't know what's true right now, so I don't want to speculate unless
They sent him a
someone can pull
QR
it
code
up.
to UPS to send the belt back.
Yeah, we'll call you. You just put it in the box.
Just take it there. They'll pack
on
everything's
there.
already
Yeah,
paid for.
exactly.
Just
Leave it
open the
at the
QR
jewel.
code in your email.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Make sure
Well,
you get a receipt.
speaking of Alberto Del Rio, this is another. I love these segues. We're going into Money in the Bank cash-ins.
Oh, worst one. Even worse.
For
Even
sure.
the losses were better than his win.
So this main segment is about the best. I said best Money in the Bank cashes of all time, but let's also just include worst in general.
Del Rio.
Money in the Bank
The
cash-ins.
bloopers.
You kind of touched on some not so great cash-ins. But I mean, the Money in the Bank as a concept, it started, I think it was WrestleMania 21, and it sounded like it was Chris Jericho's idea initially, and then the concept was at WrestleMania, from WrestleMania 21 all the way until
The next one.
it might have been up until 26. I mean, how often have they done Money in the Bank at WrestleMania before they did a separate PLE for it?
Like 25 or 26.
Yeah, I think it might have been up to 26. I think WrestleMania 26 still had Money in the Bank. Yeah, it's a good question, because there was a Money in the Bank PLE in 2011. And what WrestleMania was in 2011? I think that was 27. Yeah, I think that was 27. So that was they had the Money in the Bank PLE in 2011. So the concept has been around for a long time. At this point, it's been 20 years, I think, now.
Since the last one was 2010 in for Mania.
You're right. Okay, so I was right. So it's 26. And then after 27, they had the first were Chicago really the first Money in the Bank PLE? Well, the more you know. So then they had after 26, they start having the Money in the Bank PLE, and I think that one has never changed before. Well, it had in the sense of it used to just be the men's Money in the Bank, and then they added a women's Money in the Bank match, which was much needed because then you get double the cash-ins, double the fun. But I guess I want to ask you guys, and Chris, I'll start with you. What do you think of Money in the Bank as a concept? Do you like it? Do you think it's an interesting concept? Does it still have that same kind of like, oh crap, they got like, are you still excited for it when it comes around every year?
Yeah, I mean, gave you one of the best matches between Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank 2011, 10.
2011, yeah. Yeah, but that's just a match. I'm talking about like because Cena and Punk could have had that same feud, and it could have been a different PLE in June. But I mean, like the ladder match with the briefcase over.
Oh yeah,
are you still excited for those matches?
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Always exciting because like if it's an interesting mix of wrestlers in there, it's always just kind of cool to see if there's like a dark horse that you don't expect to get the briefcase. So for sure.
Andre, same question. Do you like the Money in the Bank concept? Does it still excite you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I still really enjoy Money in the Bank, like the whole concept of it, and plus, leading to the future of like when they cash in and stuff, and just the anticipation of it. Every pay per view after that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's one of my favorite concepts actually.
And David, how about you? What was your first Money in the Bank match that you remember watching?
The first one.
21?
Yeah.
Does that one stick out to you the most?
The most, the second one.
22 in Chicago?
Yeah.
Was that the one? Which one was the one where Shelton Benjamin ran up the ladder? Was that was Money in the Bank, wasn't it? I
It
thought
might
that
have been
was
the first one.
Yeah, because 22 had such like almost a weird collection of people. Like you had Ric Flair in the Money in the Bank match. I think Shelton Benjamin was in it. Was Finley in it? I think Finley was in it too.
Yep.
Um, and who the hell won? Oh, Robin Van Dam won that one. Yeah,
Yeah, and then he cashed in at One Night Stand.
Yeah. That one I do remember. That was actually when we started like watching again. It was like right around WrestleMania 22. So that was like the first cash in that I remember. And of course, RVD kind of messed up. And it was a short lived title reign. But
Mr. Money in the Bank, baby.
he had that spray painted briefcase, didn't he?
Yeah.
The RVD stuff. But yeah, do you still get excited, David, about Money in the Bank as a concept?
Oh yeah, and I get excited about it until somebody I don't want has it. Then I just want it over with.
So I guess I'll go around and ask, and maybe I'll start with David, then we'll just go from my perspective, round robin, then Andres, then me, then Chris. What do you think is the greatest cash in of all time, and why?
Either the Rollins one or the Ambrose one.
Oh yeah, the Ambrose one. I forgot about that. Either Seth or Dean Ambrose. Why do you feel like that is one of the greatest cash-ins of all time?
It just felt like there was a lot of story with them all being in the Shield, especially for the Ambrose one, and really for the Rollins one too. But I think it just added extra layer to like cash-ins because it's like not only is it a shock, but it's like it's happening amongst the group. It'd be like say for example like if Money in the Bank was a thing between DX time and like Triple H cashed in on Shawn Michaels or vice versa. Like pandemonium.
Yeah, that's a good one. Andres, how about you? What is the greatest Money in the Bank cash in for you? Is there one that really sticks in your mind?
Me personally, because I was a fan of his, was Dolph Ziggler when he cashed in. I think on the Raw after WrestleMania. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was. Was it on Del? I think it was on Del Rio.
Yeah, it was on Del Rio. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that was 2013. That was when it was AJ. Like they kept just using AJ Lee as like this crazy girlfriend. They like jumped her from like it was CM Punk. I think it was just like a brief thing, and then Daniel Bryan she was with him for a while. Then they moved her to Dolph Ziggler. But yeah, and Big E for some reason.
yeah. They were like a little stable, like Dolph Ziggler, Big E, and AJ Lee. But no, that I remember the pop too. Like I remember being at home watching it, like jumping out of my seat, like oh my god, like let's go, and he finally got it. I don't think he had a huge run either, right? As world champion.
No. No, but that was
yeah, no, that
definitely a good
personal.
one.
Yeah, I don't. But that was like my personal favorite.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my tops purely because of the crowd reaction.
Yeah, it went crazy for that.
Yeah, I have a couple. Like there's like at least 5 that like really stick in your brain. Definitely what the one that David mentioned with Seth Rollins. You're talking about the one at WrestleMania 31, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they always call it like the heist of the century or whatever.
Right.
Because I mean, the Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns main event. I feel like most people didn't really like that anyway.
That
Like
was a good match.
it was a good match, but people were kind of tired of that.
Tired of of it happening for the first time. Yeah.
They didn't like Roman. They didn't like Roman Reigns.
I heard it happened this time.
Oh,
they didn't like Roman
hasn't
Reigns.
even happened yet.
Yeah,
They love Roman Reigns.
And then Seth Rollins came out, and then everyone's like, "Hell yeah, fuck Roman Reigns." And yeah, I mean, he came in and basically like people were like, "Oh, now it's one of the greatest WrestleManias ever," because they got Seth Rollins basically. Has that been done before? Before that someone cashed in the main event of WrestleMania? I don't think so.
Nope.
Yeah, so I mean that was good. That was awesome for one, but yeah, definitely no one was. I don't think anyone was expecting that happening. And that was just a great cash in. Another one that I remember, I did like the CM Punk one. I think it might have been his first championship win because he was like a back-to-back Money in the Bank winner. He won in 23, and then he also won in, was it 23? Did he win it 3 times? 3, 4, and 5?
I think he did 08, 09.
Maybe it was 4, or it was 4 and 5, I think. So he cashed in. I think he cashed in on Edge.
08, yeah, that was Edge.
And he cashed in. I think that was his first World Heavyweight Championship win. It wasn't super memorable, but I do remember being excited for it. And like at the time, I started getting more interested in CM Punk when he first showed up in ECW. I was like, I don't know, because they didn't give him too much, like that promo that he basically
that's all he is.
Duplicated.
Still,
I mean, that's not true. That's not true.
Still, that's all he is.
But the WrestleMania, what was it, 41 promo, like that, I think that was his first promo that he just basically replicated older now. Like, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I think that was like one of his
boring as shit.
Yeah, that was like his introduction.
Man, hearing that This Fire Burns kill switch though, and that promo was fucking everything. That's so sick.
No, that was definitely nostalgia in my veins for sure. So definitely that cash in. That Sheamus one on Roman Reigns also. If you guys remember that one, what was that, 2015?
That was
Lobster Head.
Yeah, I think it was 2015. And that was the one where Sheamus had like the giant mohawk and the Viking beard.
You
Like the
look
braids.
stupid. So I actually thought he looked cool. Like I don't know why the fuck people were being assholes about it.
Like he's a wrestler. He's not supposed to look normal.
Yeah.
I thought he looked badass. I don't know what the hell was wrong with people.
They can't pull it. That's all.
They were
Yeah.
chanting that, weren't they?
Yeah,
They were
Yeah.
legit.
stupid?
Like
Yeah.
night one, I feel like that's when they started doing that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that when you started chanting. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Chris, let me go to you now because I don't want to just start listing them all. But what is the one that kind of sticks out the most for you?
The ultimate opportunist, Edge, waited all year, and then when Cena was at his like weakest moment, he cashed in on his ass at New Year's
Yep.
Revolution.
Yep, that's rated R. I think that was the birth of the rated R superstar.
Yeah,
Because I think after that they had the live SEX celebration.
That was when Mr. McMahon came out, right? Like he handed him the case, right?
2006. New Year's
So
Revolution.
he was the first Money in the Bank winner because this was before WrestleMania 22. So this was that first Money in the Bank cash in, and he gave it to Vince and cashed it in on Cena. And then he basically
They lost at a house show.
Yeah, that is so wild. But
Honorable
yeah,
mention. I
first
actually really
cash-in.
like the Io Sky one too.
Which one?
The Io Sky cash-in when she was
Oh,
still with
yeah.
and Bailey was with her. I actually like
Yeah.
that one. like Bailey came out with her at the same time, and then like Io's like take her on. She did, and she's like I forgot who they. I think it might have been Asuka, but Bailey just started like wailing on people with the briefcase and then
Yeah.
handing it back to her, and she's like cashed it in. I actually really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. There was another one specifically because, and again, say what you will about Kane, but when I think he cashed it in that same show, and I think he won the SmackDown one because he cashed it in on Rey Mysterio.
What a jerk.
Yes. I mean, Rey Mysterio, I feel like every time he wins the belt, he always gets the short end of the stick. Like he doesn't hold it for longer than a couple of months, if not a day. Because they did it with the World Heavyweight Championship. Same thing when he won the WWE Championship for like an hour before John Cena beat him for it. But that's a sidetrack. Was he heel Cena? Early signs right there.
That was already
Yeah. But yeah, so for that Kane cash in, people felt like he deserved it because like his only other I think WWE championship run was in 1998 or something like that, and he only had it for like 24 hours. And then with the World Heavyweight Championship, when I think it was 2010, he actually had a longer title reign. And I felt like he deserved it just purely based on like his work, the amount of work that he put into the business. He should at least get more than like one 24-hour WWE Championship run. So
That's okay.
24/7.
what was that?
24/7.
Yeah, the 24/7 belt. So
He's had other bets, right? I mean, he's had the tag and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, never the main one though. After that,
He didn't need it.
What was that?
He didn't really need the belt. He is already over. He's one of those that fits into that category of doesn't really need a belt to like put him in good programs and stuff. It's like, oh, what happened? Oh, Chris Jericho spilled coffee on Kane. Kane got mad. There's our story.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, works. He's a monster. He's mad. No one can control him. Here we are.
That's true. Now, what do you guys think about Money in the Bank PLE being like its own show versus when it used to be at WrestleMania? Do you feel like it's fine if it's its own show, or do you guys wish that it would go back to WrestleMania?
It'd be hard to go back with two.
Well, you got two nights now, so you do women's night 1, men's night 2.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
they cash in the same night.
I think
everybody just blows their load.
Yeah.
I just think because of like making iconic moments like the 2011 Money in the Bank pay-per-view, like it's kind of hard to just kind of get rid of it. You know what I mean? But I mean, I don't know. It could be easy, like whatever.
I mean, you could. I mean, it's like Bad Blood and shows like that used to exist, and they had great matches.
They never had a stipulation that made the whole event, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
then again, it's like TLC, but they killed that with oversaturation.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? I feel like out of all the gimmick PLEs that used to exist, because it was, I mean, I think gimmick PLEs took up most of the calendar for at least, I don't know if it's a decade, but a pretty decent chunk of WWE
Extreme
programming.
Rules.
Yeah, Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell, TLC, Money in the
Fatal
Bank.
Four-Way that one year.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Fatal Four-Way. What the hell? Wasn't, I mean, Survivor Series, I guess it's technically
handicap
a match.
PLE full of different handicap matches.
Yeah.
Just got that sticker on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm out of all of like the gimmick PLEs, I feel like this one is the most successful, and I personally don't think it should go away. Because for sure for WrestleMania, I feel like if you don't have Money in the Bank, you can just have more opportunities in WWE to like have more stories to be completed or fulfilled. And then the Money in the Bank PLE is a nice, the summer is typically, after WrestleMania, is typically a lull. And I feel like Money in the Bank being in June, sometimes July and June, it's a nice kind of like shot of adrenaline of some kind of intrigue or interest. Because when you see like people fighting for their spots, which is happening right now on Raw and SmackDown, and then seeing that person win the briefcase like in June or July, it gives it a nice kind of like boost of interest, because then you're curious to see when are they going to cash it in? How long are they going to hold it for? You know, like it gives that nice interest going into SummerSlam and then the fall. Sometimes they cash it in the same night too. I mean, there was a couple of people that did that. I think Liv Morgan might have done it, and did Alexa Bliss do it? Ambrose. Yeah.
Kane.
What do you, David, what do you think? Because we kind of joked about this earlier, but what do you think? What cash-ins did you feel were underwhelming or a missed opportunity?
Austin Theory.
He cashed in, failed, right?
Yeah, and well, like first couple times it was funny because like the Bloodline just kept like throwing his briefcase away and like doing silly things.
Right.
But then like when he tried to cash in the U.S. title, he's like, "What? What do you want me to do? There's no way."
Yeah, that was on the U.S. title. Yeah, that was stupid.
There's nothing else I can do. I give up.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. I will say that because he knows, like every wrestler knows, the Money in the Bank, like, you know, you can cash in for anything, right? Like you can try and win the top belt in the company, and then you choose to go for the mid-card belt. I mean, I guess, but
he just had to Scooby-Doo some shit and like trap the Bloodline in their locker room, cash in on Roman alone.
I mean,
too hard.
Also, what the hell was that egg story? Like that golden egg thing?
Oh,
like where was that even?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Chris, what do you think? Most underwhelming, worst cash in?
Del Rio on Punk in 2011.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely. I mean, do you have an explanation on why?
I just hate the dude.
Del Rio.
Besides being a DV offender, what?
Even before that, he was lame, dude. What do you mean?
Yeah, he was definitely lame.
He was lame before that. There were signs.
I thought as a heel it was interesting. Like when they when they first shown vignettes, I was like, nah, it's the rich aristocrat, whatever. But I thought he was decent, but
never.
I didn't like it because you had this whole summer of Punk thing, and it barely lasted the summer. And you cash it in freaking August, like you just got it in June, and you had this interesting story with him, like quote unquote leaving the company, and he took a picture of the belt in his fridge. And like it was just like an interesting story that they just kind of
they just snuffed it.
shat the bed on.
Like
Yeah.
he just like came out. He's like, yeah. It's like the worst.
Yeah, they shat the bed with that one. I mean, Punk got the belt back, but they definitely like the momentum just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Which sucked. So that was definitely an underwhelming one. For sure, Jack Swagger. Do you guys remember him holding a WWE champion or a World Heavyweight Championship belt?
We
the
people.
I like this hat.
You know?
Hat.
I thought his cash in was underwhelming. I think it was a good college try to give like some younger guys like the opportunity to hold the belt. It definitely like the belt still definitely felt very B tier if like John Cena or someone was holding the belt, you know, it was just kind of like second fiddle. I mean, I guess you can kind of consider that now too with like the World Heavyweight Championship, and because they call it undisputed WWE Championship, branding just doesn't help the other belt. But yeah, Jack Swagger in general, though, it wasn't a great cash in, and he wasn't a memorable champion at all.
If he had the hat,
if he
and
had
the
that
cash
purple
in.
hat and the case, then maybe. But and also, I'm sorry, Andres, but I
Multiverse.
think your face is frozen. You just had the same face for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Is it just
Oh,
me?
is it?
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah,
But,
me
you know,
either.
that's kinda
I can't
funny. It's
even
like-
look.
Yeah, it's kind of like an
I can't-
insert in like the WWE Thunderdome when they had like
Yeah.
Benoit or whatever, and it just feels like you have like a picture up on your.
Every time I look at you, I feel like I'm talking to your yearbook picture or something.
But Andres,
Since we're
was
gonna
there-
make times about it.
Andres or yearbook photo, is there a cash that you thought was underwhelming?
Actually, I don't. There was one that was like entertainingly bad. Was it with Baron Corbin? Did he like never do it, or did he like? Didn't he like have like the most attempts or something like that? I remember like.
Baron Corbin? Honestly, I don't know. That might have been around
Baron
the time
Corbin was
that
pretty bad. Yeah.
I wasn't watching. Oh, so yeah, because this was 2018, right? So he won it in 2018. Wait, what? Or was it 2017? And then he tried to cash it in, and he lost his cash in.
He failed to cash
Yeah.
in on Jinder in 2017 SmackDown.
Yep. Can't hinder.
Well, I mean, that whole combination just sounds not great.
It was awesome.
Don't hinder
Yes.
Jinder, bro. What is Jinder doing now? What's he doing? Jinder Mahal,
Indies.
India.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other ventures. He wrestles, but he's also like focused on other shit.
Yeah.
That other
Honestly,
shit, what? I don't know.
You know, there was another one. Okay, so yeah, you're right. So Punk won 24 and 25. That was the back-to-back. In 2007, Mr. Kennedy won the Money in the Bank. And that was when people were thinking that he was going to get a strap, a rocket to the moon, get pushed. Because he definitely had the X factor for sure. And was it a drug fail? I think it might have been a drug fail.
Kennedy.
But he basically lost.
Anderson.
He lost his contract to Edge, and then Edge cashed it in, which I thought also was kind of memorable. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think he cashed in on The Undertaker because The Undertaker won at WrestleMania 23, beat Batista, retained the streak, and then Edge got the Money in the Bank briefcase, cashed it in on The Undertaker. I think it was a SmackDown.
Yeah.
And
The
then
ultimate
won.
opportunist.
Yeah, so that was another good run on Edge, to be honest with you. So that was a pretty memorable one for sure. And it wasn't a house show that time, which was great.
Was it a house show the first time? I was just talking crap.
I don't think it was. Honestly, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Like, I mean, if he lost at a house show, it's a good thing he thought of the perfect plank.
Because it had to have been because Cena was the champion going into WrestleMania 22, so we lost it before that. Live research, folks. But now I'm really curious to see.
Yes, Chat GPT.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT. Oh, so it was at Royal Rumble. He lost at a Royal Rumble. Sorry, folks.
That's a pretty big house show.
Yeah, it's a pretty big show. He lost it. He lost. He lost it back to Cena. So he had it for a little bit, and then lost it back to Cena. But that rated R thing basically kind of went off. Yeah, because that then they basically had that whole feud with Mick Foley, and that's how he got into WrestleMania 22. Won the hardcore match, and then yeah. So basically, very short lived. And then his 2007 run was pretty. I thought it was pretty fun. So wait, did John Cena win money too? Huh. That's
I
interesting.
wasn't watching them.
I know. I'm sure he did win one.
So, here as we're kind of wrapping up, because Money in the Bank is happening fairly soon. I think it's June 7th, if I'm not mistaken. And who's our current lineup? So Money in the Bank,
They just had some
2025.
matches right now.
Yeah, there's some qualifying matches.
Solo.
Yeah, we got Solo Sikoa. He won his match. I think it was on SmackDown. Yeah, this past Friday. And then there are five other guys. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, and oh man, really? Rhea Ripley? Damn. Versus three more. So I guess who do you hope wins the men's, and who do you hope wins the women's? And I don't think they announced all of them yet.
Nope, they're having qualifying matches.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley won hers.
Yep.
I used to hope Solo.
Do you think Solo should win the Money in the Bank?
Solo in the Bank.
Solo in the Bank. Who else would you put in that match? Into that match anyway for the men? If you had to be a fantasy booker, let's just pretend we're fantasy booking and these qualifying matches don't exist, and you had to give a man and a woman an opportunity this year and win the Money in the Bank ladder match, who would you give it to? David.
Solo Sikoa.
Solo. What about for women? And let's just ignore like
Solo Sikoa.
Sola Sikoa.
Yeah.
Be like a Santina. Santina Morella, Miss WrestleMania.
I think I want to see Solo with the Money in the Bank, and women's. Let's see. I think it's best to just goes to Roxanne now that she's won. I think it just give it to her. It kind of fits everything. It kind of fits everything she has going on, and like the hot streak that she's kind of already set herself up for.
Yeah. Andres, what do you think? Just pure fantasy booking. You could use the real people who are in there, or you could just make some winners.
Make some winners. Trying to think. I guess for the men, well, he's technically a champion. I was gonna say LA Knight. No, he lost it, though, didn't he?
Yeah,
he lost it. Okay, yeah. So I guess LA Knight would be an interesting one to see.
Uh-huh.
Then on the women's side, you know what? Just for pure like storytelling, I would say because Kari just came back, even though she's not qualifying for it. I'd say it'd be interesting if she had it, and then she would have to cash in on Io.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good. Honestly, I think for the women, if this was possible, I would give it to Julia because that would be a pretty great. She just joined the roster, but then, I mean,
That'd be a
like
big push. Yeah.
honestly, like the aura of these like three women was I think three: Julia, Stephanie Vicaire, honestly, four or five women, Roxanne, and Jordan Grace. I mean, like these are just like you're just they are roster ready. I feel like and they have it just like it's like Rhea Ripley type star power. I don't know how to describe it, but like they are for sure just ready for a title run. So if they had an opportunity to give it to Julia, I would give her a Money in the Bank win this year. And I'm playing fantasy booking. For the men, I don't know. Yeah, Solo Sikoa, sure, but I still think he's a little underwhelming. If I'm being honest.
You're watching with the TV off. I don't know what you're talking about,
like
man.
Jacob Fatu, I think is more intriguing, but he's holding the belt. So, um, you know what? I would give it to Aleister Black. Give him something to chew on. He just came back.
Ooh,
Aleister Black,
we got an owl in the
baby.
house.
Give it to him. I think that'd be good. I don't think Shinsuke Nakamura is gonna. It'd be great if they give him another title run, but I don't know if that's in the cards. Prove me
Yeah, I like
wrong.
to see that too.
But I'll say Aleister Black. Chris, how about you? Whammon and man.
Is Karrion Kross in the mix right now? Does he have a match?
Not yet.
Not yet. That would be surprising because, like, is this shirt actually the #1 selling shirt on WWE Shop? That's not like a meme.
Let's go see.
Because if that's true, I mean,
that's where I'm
that's
kind of
crazy.
basing it off of. Just I hate to say it and admit it, but probably Karrion Kross.
You like Krabby Patties, Squidward.
Based on t-shirt sales. I mean, from a business perspective, that does make sense.
The guy be moaning and bitching about being the greatest thing ever. You might as well give him some at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that he hasn't been working his ass off. He is similar to Chelsea Green in the sense of like when she wasn't like the United States champion, she was maximizing the little minutes that she had on TV. And I think that Karrion Kross, I think he's a good talker. I think he maximizes his minutes. I'll be honest.
He sold out in 5X.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Damn.
The big
He's
boys
got
rock with Cross.
Big Boys fan club.
Oh,
Yeah.
so does Fatu.
I like
the 4X and 5X.
I like that. It was like a promo, like backstage. Somebody asked him about his socks, like what color his socks were, and he's like, "They're Freddy Krueger colored because that will kill you in your dreams or some shit like that." I was like, "Damn,
see, that's good hard. Shit, though." Yeah. So
yeah, he's a top seller.
See that's some organic stuff. They better capitalize on that. Good for him. So Chris, you're saying Karrion Kross for the men. What about the women?
Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You know what? I'm gonna throw Naomi in the mix too. If she doesn't get it like a WWE Women's Championship match, then I would make her win the Money in the Bank. Because she deserves it for sure out of all the women, and she's been around like one of the longest. Natalia, I mean, I feel like had more WWE Championship wins. I feel like, and I'm also including the Divas title. But yeah,
is she bringing that low key legend gimmick into WWE?
Natalia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so yet, but she should. I mean, that's another one. Like, she's really trying to be like, all right, you don't want to give me something, I'm gonna make something for myself. And I think Loki Legend is a great like gimmick or tagline. I think that's pretty cool. And she looked pretty badass in, was it GCW?
Yep.
Good for her. But yeah, I am looking forward to this Money in the Bank PLE. And again, it's like it is one of those that I'll look forward to every year, and I feel like a lot of people feel that too. You have WrestleMania, you have SummerSlam, but like this specific gimmick where you don't know because normally you don't really know who's actually going to win the case, and that's always very fun going into the show, and then trying to figure out when they plan on cashing it in. I think that's always entertaining. So definitely looking forward to that. But that's a wrap
Worlds
for
Collide. Worlds Collide's the same day.
Is it? Oh yeah, that's in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, we might make a day out of it. And Chris, you can host it. But that's a wrap for this episode of Chi-Town Shoot Podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us, and leave your feedback. Tune in next time for more Wrestling Madness. Until then, keep marking out.